The highs and lows you experience in a race like this, man, it gives you a lifetime of fucking knowledge.
If I get lost.
If I get lost.
Hurt. Or die. It's my own damn fault.
It's my own damn fault.
These people are here trying to find themselves. And the answers they get on the other side of this journey, they can only get by doing some shit like this. Suffering, my friend, suffering makes you fucking a very knowledgeable person.
You talked about, just for your documentary, you talked about some of the terrain.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, we could unpack that. Yeah, so this, like, obviously the miles is one component to this race. It's twice as far as I've ever gone. I think it's like 9.4 marathons in total. But not only that, you also have 32,000 feet of elevation. So we're going over the height of Everest and also down the height of Everest. And it's not a road, right? I mean, we're on trails. We're on single track trail, double track trail, in the middle of nowhere. So a lot of the stretches are 20 miles long between an aid station and aid station. So you're legitimately like 10 miles into the middle of nowhere, no cell service, no phone service. And so unless you have a bone sticking out of your body, you're walking your ass out of this race.
Blew up a quad, and I went 240 miles. What a bad idea.
You know, I was just a very standard guy that, you know, socialized a lot, you know, lived for the weekends, you know, wasn't into fitness, wasn't a runner, wasn't doing, you know, I would work out three days a week, you know, to keep my dad bod from getting too out of hand and from my back not to hurt. You know, that was essentially who I was. You know, I identified myself as somebody that would work hard and play hard, and my self worth was, hey, I work really hard for the kids, you know, and I'm giving the kids all these things. But it was just this vicious cycle of, you know, drinking too much, not getting enough sleep, having lots of socializing and lots of fun, but the conversations were still the same. It was, you know, it was like 51st dates every weekend. You know, not a lot had changed, and I ended up seeing my buddy do this thing called the 75-day hard. And when he told me the rules that you got to work out twice a day, you got to drink a gallon of water a day, you got to read 10 pages of a book a day, then there's no alcohol. And, you know, when I told my wife that, you know, she just laughed in my face. She's like, there's absolutely no way that you can do that, Brady. And I'm like, I know. That's why I'm going to try it. So during this challenge, I had to read 10 pages of a personal development book every day. And so one of the very first books that I read was Never Finished. And this book is, you know, about David actually running the Moab 240, DNFing it, and then coming back. And so, you know, at this point in my life, I think I ran one, you know, half marathon before. And I never would even imagine to think that I would want to run 100 miles. And this wasn't that long ago. But after doing the challenge, you know, I kind of let life just slip back in. I started drinking again and socializing, and everything else just came back. So I knew I had to sign up for something hard. So I signed up for a half Ironman. And so I've never swam like this, never been on a road bike like this. And I trained for 4 months for this. I, you know, again, went back to not drinking. Everything in life got better. This is right when we moved down from Canada to the US. We started in a brand new country, knew no souls, knew nobody. We didn't have relationships. I never would even imagine to think that I would want to run 100 miles. But, you know, I think what's really cool is that, you know, a very short period of time, and this is, if it's true for me, it's true for anyone, that, you know, with focus and intention and doing hard things consistently, the hard things get harder as you do them, that you can go from literally running 13.1 miles to running 240 miles in a matter of 2.5 years. And, you know, Chasing Goggins is a great name for a YouTube video, but it's truly what I was able to do in life too. One of the scariest things about going into this race was the fact that just 6 months earlier, I DNF'd at the Zion 100, and I was 80 miles in and had massive lung issues, and I ended up having to pull out of that race. And one of the things that I learned about that is the power of surrounding yourself with the right people, and you know, thinking about all the mistakes we've ever made from a crew and from a supply and nutrition, you know, shoes and blisters and all the areas that could go wrong. All the things that could go wrong, you're trying to put things in place and make sure that you're ultimately prepared. I mean, there's so many opportunities to go wrong. All you got to do is leave an aid station without a headlamp. All you got to do is leave an aid station without the proper amount of nutrition, right? Some of these sections between the aid stations were 24 miles. That took 7 hours, right? Because you're going up and down mountains. And so if we forget something, we don't have the right thing, and you're starting to, you know, things are going sideways 3 miles, you know, 3 miles or 3 hours into a 7 mile section, well, that, you know, that's going to set me up for just, you know, more hell than necessary. So the day before, we really focused on prepping the crew, prepping the vehicle, and I had to get a shakeout run in. I was getting nervous, anxious. I was ultimately just ready to start because, you know, thinking about the inevitable or the unknown was more scary than starting. But it was good to get the legs moving and get the legs shaking. And then I had a moment to myself where I really need to think and send myself a message and be like, Brady, if and when, you know, it's not if, it's when I have the darkest thoughts, the darkest moments, and I'm considering quitting, or the pain is unbearable. It's just like the altitude, I can't breathe, or there's actually injury. Like, what am I going to tell myself to make sure I don't quit? Dear self, you are going to be suffering right about now. And what you need to remember is just imagine Kylie or Lexi coming to you after you quit and said, Dad, you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Dad, you didn't finish what you started. Imagine your two girls looking up to you, and you always doing exactly what you said you would do, and then all of a sudden that all changed for them for the rest of their life. Right now you need to make the decision. Do you push harder? Do you push deeper? Do you dig deeper? Or do you let that turn into the reality because you just gave up? That is not you. That's not who you are. You've never been that, and now is not the time to quit.
Down in southern Utah, as more rain moves through the region. In Washington County, areas with burn scars are of concern because flash flooding can happen with little to no warning. And in Kanab, the city is providing sandbags to those in need. With the storm coming in, it really reminded me of how many variables are going to be out there that are completely out of my control. And I really need to lean into my faith and my trust in God and the relationship that I have with Him. And this is actually when my good friend John Huffman called and wanted to do a prayer with us.
All right, Father God, Lord, I thank you, Lord. I thank you for the people that you've put around Brady right now, Lord. I pray that as he's going through this, Lord, and he's dealing with mental clarity and his bones hurt and his back hurts, Lord, that you would remind him of his daughters, that you would remind him of the team, you would remind him of all of his support, Lord, everybody that you've placed in his life. It was not on accident. It was strategically placed by you. So I pray that you just bring that to remembrance, Father, over and over. Give him the strength, empower him, empower us to pray for him. In Jesus' name, amen.
how's it going, man? Are you ready?
Oh, ready. We are ready. we get to do this.
I know we do, and again, I get to witness this. I get to watch this. It's amazing, bro. That text I just sent you about show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, having you run this and just knowing that, you know, one of my closest friends is about to do something that very few people on this planet have ever even attempted, it just gives me chills. And I just want to let you know how proud I am of you. You inspire me. You know, I'm out here doing my 5Ks, my little 10Ks and half marathons. And right now, that's my hard. But the reality of it is you're inspiring me to, and showing me that I can do way more. So I appreciate you, Brady.
The thing about Derek is that he really inspires me too. And it set me into a personal reflection of where I was just 3 years ago trying to quit alcohol by doing hard things. And that hard thing being a half marathon that turned into a half Ironman. And all of a sudden now, you know, I'm about to toe the starting line of a 240-mile ultra marathon with David Goggins. And it just shows you, if you're surrounded by the right people, if you get rid of the bad habits, if you focus on the good habits, and you work hard on your inner work, what massive amount of change can be done in a very short period of time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So the strategy for the start of the race was to, you know, get through the start and essentially just try to settle in and race my own race. One of my biggest concerns going into any mountain race is the fact that I live at sea level, and that these mountain races are obviously at elevation. So we are at the lowest elevation when we started this race, and then we were doing nothing but climbing. And, you know, even in these first climbs, I noticed that I haven't acclimated properly because I haven't been here long enough. And there's probably some pain ahead of me because of the lack of oxygen in the air.
How you feeling, big man?
Feeling good. Looking forward to getting off the slick rock, but yeah, feeling good.
2 miles to the next aid station.
Sweet.
So we got into the first aid station at 16.7 miles, and this was the first time and the last time that I'll see my crew for a very, very long time. The plan going into the first aid station was to kind of get in, get out, more or less. Like, we wanted to refill the water, refill electrolytes and carbs, and keep going.
Can you show you that?
You want this on right now?
So, yeah, it is. No, be around that right now. Hey, partner.
Holy mother effer, it's heavy. So heavy. Okay, what is that?
Or anything else right now.
There's something like doing in my back.
Okay.
All that stuff.
Hey, that's your food. We jammed too much of it in the same side. So give me 1 second.
I've been thinking about you all night, kiddo.
Am I gonna squirt it on me when they like hello?
Lexi's jersey is so cute.
Banana watermelon. Right in the bag.
How's that?
Not bad.
Do you want any Coke or any other things?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, some Coke would be great. Kylie, thanks. She's freaking awesome. Is she?
Yeah.
She's a rock. Somewhere. All right. See ya. Have a good night.
You too, brother.
So when I left this aid station, it literally started pissing rain, like cats and dogs. And so I threw on the poncho just to try to keep, you know, the upper body a little bit dry. But of course, when you know, with that comes more humidity and more sweating. At this point in the race, we're just, you know, we're settled in, and I mean because I'm running with a group of 3 or 4 individuals to the next aid station, and we're settled in. We're now reflecting on, you know, how far we've come, which is about 20 miles, and how far we have to go, which is about 220, and it's, you know, it's mind-boggling to think at this point. It's just like, how am I ever going to get through another 220 miles. All right, we're here in the shed, 29 and a half miles in. It's 8 o'clock, so we've got 8 hours in. So the next section is quite big. We got 4 hours to a water station, and then 20 miles past that before the next aid station. So we got another like 7 hours to go before we see another human that's not on the trail.
I was alone the last like 5 hours.
Dude,
I saw a
don't do that
headlamp in
again.
front and headlamps behind. I'm like, whatever.
All right, so here we go. At this point, I was carrying about 6 liters of fluid, and it was heavy. I mean, our pack was about 30 pounds, and we weren't just, I didn't have to just carry just the water and just the nutrition. You had to carry raincoats, pants, gloves, hat, whistles, extra headlamps. Like, there was a lot of extra weight required. It was almost like we were rucking, you know, meanwhile, but we're also running for this. So that was also one of the things that, reflecting back as I was started, you know, the shoulders at this point were getting pretty sore because, you know, we've been now running for at least 8 or 9 hours, and sleep deprivation was definitely settling in.
It's 6:45 in the morning. Brady should be coming in here in about 15-20 minutes or so. We're at mile 68 at Indian Creek, and this next leg he can pick up a pacer, so that's where I'm at. I got the nice pacer badge here. So we're picking up Brady here at Indian Creek, and we've got a 46-mile trek to Shea Mountain. Through that, we're going to see from point to point. We're going to go from Indian Creek to Island. We're going to gain over 1,700 feet. From Island to Bridger Jack, we're going to gain another 2,200 feet. But the big push is going to be Bridger Jack to Shea, and we're going to have over 4,200 feet of gain. So all in all, we're going to see from where we're at right now, we're going to see over 8,000 feet of elevation gain in this next section. So pretty brutal.
As I approached the aid station where I was going to pick up my first pacer, the sun started to rise. It was still cold and wet, but it was really nice just to have a familiar face. The nice thing is when you do see the sun, it does give you that energy, and it was nice to just, you know, have the power of God back. You can almost feel it coming back out. It was like a new beginning. It was like a brand new day. I wasn't tired. It was the exhaustion had gone away, and there was a bunch of runners ahead of us, and we just started picking them off one at a time. Like, we were moving at a 10-minute per mile pace, you know, at 70 miles in. So we had a little road section, and then we started getting off-road again. And it was, I didn't realize the hell that I had in front of me. It was by far the most unimaginable experience in terrain and conditions that I could have ever, you would never even have guessed that this could be an impossibility in the desert. And so the first little while we were trying to avoid the rivers. We were jumping over them, running around them. We were finding alternate routes. It eventually got to the point where you could not avoid the rivers. They were up to our knee high, and you literally could not, you had to go straight through them. And so there was miles and miles and miles of this. And so of course, you know, your feet are wet, your feet are, you know, who knows what your feet look like. And that was the scary part at this point. It's like, you do everything you can to change your socks and to change your shoes to prevent blistering. Blistering is one of the main things that could take you out. If these get so bad, you know, you have 170 more miles to go. 78 miles in, and we just spent the last 2 hours jumping a river, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on 78-mile legs. It was ridiculous. And now look at this. Look at this crap. This is what we get to walk through.
But you know what? It's what we signed up for.
We got through that next section, and this was the first time I actually took my shoes off and actually let somebody look at my feet. Well, they talked me into popping the blisters, and that was the absolute worst decision ever. It was 10 out of 10 pain, and I wish I had never done that. But we taped up the blisters, and then we got going again. And so the next section was about 15 miles, and it's basically all uphill. And it was hot. It was during the heat of the day, but moving well in general. You know, looking forward to getting to the top of the aid station, because you can never think about how far you have to go in total. It was, how can I break this down into something that's manageable? But there was a point at, you know, I think we were still like 6 miles out from the aid station, and I was just exhausted. I was sleepwalking. I was a zombie. Now this is in the middle of the day, but the sleep deprivation is starting to catch up. So I ended up having a dirt nap. I laid down, and he said literally I was snoring within the first 30 seconds. The alarm would go up, pop back up, throw the backpack back on, and just keep moving forward. We got up to the top of that next aid station, and it was starting to get cold. The sun was about to set, but everybody at the aid station was telling us, like, listen, there's a big nasty storm coming in. They were actually asking us, are you sure you want to go out right now?
So we might have to pull the plug on this hunt for Brady, because that is a severe rainstorm cloud. He's got a huge warning.
You know, at this point, we leave this aid station, you know, we just kind of ignored their, you know, suggestions or recommendations, and I just need to keep moving forward. You know, I just know if I don't slow down, if I don't stop, we're going to make progress. You know, hour over hour, day over day, this thing will come to an end.
At 100 miles. 100 miles done.
How's the body feel, man?
Surprisingly better than it ever has, because it obviously knows it has work to do.
He's hurting. He's gonna be puking. Guarantee you, before he's done. So we actually ran down this valley into this riverbed, and the sun was setting. And these are really the moments when I reflect back on the best moments of some of the best moments of my life and the best moments in racing, endurance racing. It's the sun rises and the sun sets. These are the moments I can't forget. And I really reflect on, you know, the power of doing hard things, the power of God, the power of the person that's with me. Like just having Thomas with me in this moment, in this environment, in the middle of nowhere, partway through a 240-mile ultra marathon. And it was just, you know, another magical moment. These are the moments that really pushed me to want to race another time.
So I'm gonna be crewing for Brady. We're gonna meet at Shea Mountain, and then we're gonna go about 12.2 miles over here to Monticello is where we're gonna meet the crew. And if you want to look at the elevation here, when we start at Shea, we're roughly 8,000. And we're gonna go over this peak here, which is a little over 10K vertical, and then we're gonna come down. Monticello's right here, where we're gonna meet the crew, and then end at Dry Valley. It's a total of 29.6 miles. Starting probably around 2 a.m. and just looking forward to getting out there.
I get to the aid station, and one of the guys, actually I knew the guy, one of Thomas's friends was there, and he, you know, approached me and, you know, said, congratulations, here it is. And I'm like, okay, where's my crew? And I go and find Seema, and she tells me, she's like, no, they're not here. They're not allowed to be here. I'm like, no, they need to be here. Tell them to get back here. I believe it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm exhausted. I've gone now 2 nights. I've got 30 minutes of sleep. The last thing I want to do is sleep in a tent. So she talks me off the shelf. You know, she calms me down. You know, that's why I love having Seema there. And Seema and I have done tons of hard things together. So she's very comforting. She calmed me down. She can put me in my place. She got me into a tent where I could sleep. I slept for an hour and a half, and then came back out. We had some coffee, and then, you know, we were back out on the trails again together.
All right, we are, I think, 125 miles, maybe. No, 121 maybe. My watch is stuck on some other thing, and my brain's not working, so I can't switch it. But I think we're up at 10,400 feet. It's very hard to breathe. We think we're close to the top. So we've got 8 miles to get back to the next aid station, where I'm gonna have more sleeping, because still a little bit of a body.
And more food.
More food. I feel like I'm hollow. but we're still moving along at like a mile, probably. Maybe
25 minutes. Yeah.
25.
Yeah, doing good though.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to mile 126. We're at the crew van at the aid station, waiting for Brady and Seema. Get them warmed up, give them some hot food, send them on their next section till we see them at the next spot. Let's go, baby.
How'd last night go, man?
It was the most disgusting trail I've ever witnessed in my life. It was like, it was clay, muck.
Yeah.
On a trail this steep, you couldn't get your footing, so you literally had to pull yourself up. And one of the guys, Andrew Glaze, was literally crawling, hand on his knees and on his hands, through the bushes to try to get up through this section. It was disgusting. It took us an hour to go a mile.
I can see ya. Come on down to the van.
Do you want us to shut those doors?
I couldn't.
No, I'm okay right now. Thanks, Kylie. I think I'm just gonna sit my feet here.
I ended up having an hour and a half nap here. And while that was happening, Dan and the crew were getting my pack loaded back up with what I'm gonna need for the next section.
Yeah, it's not an easy role. I don't enjoy being told what to do. But it's what you sign up for in something like this, and anything that I can do to help him get through and achieve the goals that he's trying to achieve, I'm there.
We're probably gonna finish. I'll look at the tracker.
What time is it?
11:40.
We're gonna be going.
I'll look at the tracker. It gives your estimate time.
We're gonna go 4 miles an hour. So we're gonna be 4, 8, 12, 16 in 4 hours. 16 miles? Is that what it is?
16.
Okay, so we probably could be 5.
It could be 17 actually. It's 16.9.
Okay, so it's probably gonna be 5 hours then.
Any final words for the next aid station?
Nope. Just gonna go bang out some more miles. That's what we do, right, Seema?
That's right.
So I'm over halfway into the race, and I was in like 38th or 40th position, and this next section is all downhill, and so now it's time to see how we can actually start to race this race.
All right, so I'm going to be taking Brady from this aid station here, which is Dry Valley, over to this aid station here, which they call Needles. So it's the section in between the two mountains. It's going to be a good little break for him. It's relatively flat. It's not nearly as technical. It's not rocky. It's just, a lot of people consider it fairly boring. We'll be doing most of it in the dark, so it's not like it's going to be boring because you can't see anything anyway. So
how you feeling about it, man?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be the farthest that I've run by double. And I'm interested to spend the time with Brady and shoot the shit and just be part of this whole adventure.
Under 100 miles left to go.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, 100 seems so attainable after you've done 144. It's crazy to even think that. That's what I was thinking earlier. It's like, now you can break down how you're going to finish it to, like, you know, with confidence. Yeah, so it's obviously the power of taking action. You know, you start building trust within yourself and your belief systems. All of a sudden, boom! 240 miles is getting done. Baby girl, how you doing? Good.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome.
Doing great.
144 miles down. Got like under 100 miles to go.
Just 100.
So it's not even a big deal anymore.
It's all downhill.
Yeah, exactly. We're counting down now.
Look at that thing. You think it's better to keep the blisters how they are?
I don't know. I might get somebody to work on them, or we could get them cleaned up and get the tape and just start taping some of this stuff.
This hurts as bad as the last time I got one drained. Like, do they always hurt?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, then let's not do that.
Okay.
Like
you're fine.
No. It hurts so bad.
And so at this aid station, my friend Thomas nurtured some of the blisters again. Yes, they convinced me again to pop all of them, tape them all up, put more lube over my toes, and got me ready.
Ow, ow, you're squeezing the damn thing.
Well,
jeez, ow.
Aren't you doing a 240-mile run?
Yeah, but I don't squeeze on my toes. To get this marathon done, I would like to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. With mile 46, there's a crew that we can get there.
Yeah, where I picked.
Well, no, yeah. Yeah, 46 you can see.
Well, that's a deal then.
Yeah.
When we left this aid station, we had 13 miles to get to the next aid station, and then another 13 miles until we saw our crew. So the first 13 miles was all on road, and it was relatively flat. We had this beautiful sunset. Dan and I were having great conversations. The body was moving amazingly well, and Dan had never ran as far as he's about to run, but he was keeping a really good pace. He was pushing me to make sure I was running more, pushing, trying to get me to run a little faster. But at this point, the night is setting in, and I'm starting to get really, really, really sleepy.
What do you need?
I think just to go to sleep. Yeah.
You need to get down anything before you go to bed?
I should, but I think I'm just too tired to. I think we'll do that after.
Yeah.
So we're here.
Yep.
So we go. It's gonna be cold, and we gotta go up 9,000 feet of elevation, and it could be mucky and yucky, and probably is going to be. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be just hard. Period. Probably just way harder than everything else. But what must go up must come down, so then it's 40 miles to the finish line.
This is really when the fear started to set in. The next 30 miles was climbing up and then staying in that 10,000 to 11,000 foot elevation range for quite some time. But I was very excited to run with Mason. Mason actually works with us. He's another ultra runner, and I was very thankful, excited to be with Mason because he has the experience of running Cocodona 250. So we went out there and we started moving again. And at this point, I was moving pretty good. We get into some of the trails, and of course now it starts to rain again. And so, at this point, I think my crew is telling me that we've had now a record rainfall for Utah ever. The most amount of rain in record has literally fallen during the duration of this race. And this is really when everything started falling apart. As I was getting closer and closer to Pole Canyon, I just kept on thinking, how am I gonna do this? My breathing's already getting really strained. It's getting harder and harder. I'm slowing down. How much worse is it gonna get? Can I do this? All of the things and all the doubt is really creeping in.
Well, things aren't going so hot anymore. Finally, the time has come. I dropped my phone. We didn't realize it, so I ended up having another dirt nap, and then we had to walk back and go find the phone. And this aid station just seems to be some ungodly distance away. Too far.
How we doing, Brady?
You want the real answer?
Yeah, let's get it straight.
Not fucking great.
But what about the next section?
Why don't you show them the weather?
We're up pretty high at this point, and it might be around 9,200 feet. And the weather it started settling in. I ended up having another like little 3-minute nap. But to be honest, like at this point, I was just thinking about how is this possible? I think I was texting Christy and like I was starting to fall apart a little bit. Like you're suffocating, you know, like, and I didn't really think about that I was suffocating because it's like your whole body experience is basically just being drowned slowly. But that's what it felt like it's just so hard. And it was overwhelmingly hard but it wasn't any singular pain like my foot hurts. It's just like, this is hard.
How we doing?
I can barely breathe. Deep in Sufferfest. I think we're going, what, an hour per mile?
Probably about that pace. It's been pretty steep.
Yeah, it's steep. Oh. I'm going like 20 feet, 30 feet maybe, and then pausing. We're up to 10,800 feet. We've spent the last 7 hours above 10,000 feet, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like couldn't breathe.
Are you warm enough?
Yeah.
Are you?
We're good now. It's starting to clear out.
Yeah.
There's still 5 more miles to go, though. Like it was freaking insane.
Yeah. How's your breathing doing right now?
It's fine now, I think. Anyway, but I'm going downhill.
Yeah, you're starting to come down. We can see your elevations.
Yeah.
And your speed is coming up. Did you see any snow?
No.
That's good.
No. We're just skating down a mud path, so anyway, we're not sure exactly what the plan will be to maybe just finish it tomorrow morning.
Fine, get some rest.
Yeah, maybe just we might what do you got for hotel rooms?
We have an Airbnb, honey.
Okay, sweet. Okay, all right, well, we're gonna try to get down there before dark.
Okay, so we're coming up to Geyser to meet you, and then let's play it by ear, even if you have a couple hours sleep there, and then we can make the decision. Let's do that. You can sleep. Do you want anything?
No. Do you want anything?
No, we're good.
No, we're good.
Anybody else have any questions?
You're doing great, Brady. You got through the hard part, buddy. Stay strong.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, keep going.
At this point, I was out of it. I thought that we were gonna go to a hotel and we're gonna sleep in a hotel or a motel or an Airbnb. Clearly out of it, like not realizing that we're 2 hours into the middle of absolute nowhere in Utah.
We're over 10,000 feet pretty much all day. Well, not all day, right?
No, not all day.
Probably like
You've been climbing all day.
7 hours. 7 or 8 hours, and still haven't got under 9,000. So.
That's not fair. Everything back there.
Honestly, that was crazy. How are you feeling here, Kai? Okay, because it's really high right now here.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm completely fine now.
Good.
Yeah.
Jason, how you doing?
Man, that was tough after not running at all.
It was like, we went 14 miles in like 14 hours. Like, I mean, maybe it was probably 9 hours, right?
Yeah, it felt like 9 hours. It took 5 to get the first 15 miles, and then it took, I think we're at 14 hours now, so that means 9 hours to get 15 miles.
You look really good.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Fuck, dude.
They actually don't look that bad.
Yeah. Not as swollen as they were.
If the smell cam.
Not as swollen as the swelling actually kind of went down. Well, look
Actually,
at
look
the swelling on the ankle.
I was just gonna say, as soon as those shoes come off, I bet you by the time he gets back up.
The only thing I wanted to do was get through today, like that because I know the 40 miles is gonna be easy.
Right.
Like if we could have got through today without it being a complete shit show, we'd be banging that thing out right now. Yeah. I could still run 40 miles right now.
You know, we didn't really have a plan. We knew we were going to do a longer sleep here. That was the plan, to have, you know, like a 2.5, 3 hours sleep here. But at this point in the race, just considering all the elevation and the issues that, you know, I mentally had to go through, I needed 5 hours sleep.
Fuck yeah! That was a rough one! Hey man! Hey! Hey! Everybody got fucked up knees! I got broken toe. Hey, we're sprinting? We're sprinting, right? We're gone. I think you guys look brother. Respect, boy. Yeah, hey, we're throwing out 530s, dog. Yeah. Respect. Cam goes, you guys are both crushing. I said, he's got 4 miles on me. I'm going to try and catch him. Respect. You almost did. But guess what? You got it. You did. You got it. You got it. You got it, baby. Well done, baby. Appreciate you all, man. Thank you. Well done, David. Thank you. Well, when I do these races, man, I don't search for anything on the other side of it. It's how I look at these races is I'm 50 years old. Okay, I'll be 51 in February. When you live this many years, what happens is it takes about a good 10 years of people telling you and you experiencing how fucked up life is. The highs and the lows of life. I can pack that motherfucker in 80 some hours and I can get, so the knowledge comes from the experience, not the race. It's not about the race. So like I said, like my life, if I were to take the first 10 years from 20 to 30, I learned a lot. All I've done with these races is I condensed 10 years into 80 some hours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure it makes sense?
Yeah.
The highs and lows you experience in a race like this, man, it gives you a lifetime of fucking knowledge. And people get it all fucking twisted. They don't understand it. And that's fine. But these people aren't trying to win the race. Some are. These people are here trying to find themselves. And the answers they get on the other side of this journey, they can only get by doing some shit like this. Suffering, my friend, suffering makes you fucking a very knowledgeable person. Is that all you got for me?
Yes, sir.
Out. Appreciate you, man.
Right, brother.
Appreciate it.
No, as I was entering into Geyser Pass aid station at mile 200, I was still in about 38th or 40th position. But now that I've had this 5-hour nap, the mission now is just to finish. One of my crew members actually let me know that Goggins had just finished. And to be honest, it was the last thing that I gave a shit about. You know, it was very impressive that obviously I'm here where I am. He's gone through here, and you know, this is hard stuff. This is unbelievably hard, and you know, and that guy's done this 3 times, and I've just got to do my, you know, stick to my race, and I've got to cross that finish line so I can be in the same pack as him. So as we were leaving mile 200, I knew I had 40 miles left, and as I was climbing back up, I just realized like how bad my breathing still is. Like it hasn't gotten better. It didn't, you know, the sleep didn't make it better. This wasn't just exhaustion. Like there is actually something wrong going on here.
Okay, so we're at mile 204-ish. We've got the blood oxygen level reader. You can see while I'm moving still, we're at the top. It was hovering right around 85%.
But the very first time it went down, it was at 78%. And if you Google that, you could do that now and you'll see that this is like, go to the hospital. Like you need to, this is an emergency. And so I would stop and I watched it come back up, and it would come back up into like 92%. I'm like, okay. So I kind of got into that rhythm. I tested it a few times, and I realized that, you know, it's just a pattern. As I run, it goes down. As I stop, it kind of creeps back up. And so it just, at this point, it was what it was. I mean, the option is to, you know, to quit or to do what we said we were going to do and get this thing done.
We just finished leaving last aid station. We got 18.2 miles to go to get that belt buckle. 240 miles. Woo! Really appreciate everybody in this chat. As you know, I added everybody because you matter to me. And I really appreciate all your support. I've been keeping half an eye on all the messages and the videos and the text and all that stuff. So I just want to let you guys know you guys really helped me get across this finish line. Love you guys.
I think it was about 6 miles into after that last aid station. I had my quad just like kind of like I feel something. I said, Mason, I think, you know, something's going on here with this quad. And then it was probably like 3 or 4 steps later. I'm like, dude, I can't run. And you know, right there, it's like, now what? You know, like we thought we were 2.5 or sorry, like maybe 3 hours away from the finish line. All of a sudden, you know, like, can I even get through it? So I literally had to hobble down, you know, almost mentally thinking, telling myself that the leg isn't even there. Because it was like every step down, the quad is trying to slow itself down, and it's like a knife was being stabbed into the quad every single step. And I got to do this for 16 miles. And I remember we just kept on, you know, going down this mesa. It was like, it was just false finish lines for hours. But we get down, we run through this tunnel underneath the bridge, and there's my family.
You're not hallucinating, we're real.
Oh, can't wait to be on this flat ground.
You're doing amazing, honey. You're doing amazing. Incredible.
Oh.
Check.
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, my legs are destroyed. They're the one is anyway. So I'll get them.
Oh, wow. Ready for 3 more miles?
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to flat. This thing going down is just so painful. It's
Got
like
a nice path all the way
like
back.
10 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. That was absolutely living hell.
What got you through it?
You know, just I think what happened, we didn't really say it, but like we just kept on just putting one foot in front of the other, and eventually we figured we'd get there. We just didn't know it'd take 9 hours or 5 times as long as it should. But there was, yeah, it was just like all the combination of the weather, the altitude, probably the fluid that's in my lungs, the trail conditions, the weather, the rain, the mud. You know, there's just pretty much everything.
Are you normally this coherent at the end of your long races?
I would say I'm pretty together right now. I was pretty together the whole time.
I know. Is it because I was here?
I don't know. I think just I was fairly composed the entire time. I don't know why. I think maybe I'm getting wiser. You think of that? Not even a laugh from the...
I thought you were pretty composed when I was with you.
Yeah.
Except for the climb up to 11,000 feet.
Yeah.
There wasn't much talking there.
Was anybody composed in the climb to 11,000 feet?
No one we saw.
I mean, I guess the body just held up a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought there would have been a lot more pain and suffering. But, you know, in the earlier stages, like I have experienced in the 125s and the 100s, but like the body was perfect. I think it's like it knows when it's allowed to act up or when it should. Because it was like if I didn't have all that stuff happen, then I probably wouldn't have had
you know, the big ooh-ah moments and the big takeaways and, you know, the life-changing lessons and all the, you know, because you never learn from the good times, you know, in life. You learn from the hard times. And this is no different. You had to problem solve, you know, keep your composure, communicate well. It's dangerous as hell. You know, people could die. And you had to work as a team to, you know, get this mission accomplished. And so, yeah, there's a lot of growth that happened. Today was an emotional day. I don't know if I cried like 3 times just thinking about the finish. Baby, do you want to watch what happens when I run?
Yeah.
Ow. Yeah, it's so interesting. Like, it's very emotional. You know, the last 6 hours. Yeah, different times. But it's almost like, I don't know, for me, you end up having that come out. But I don't know, yeah, it's hard to really believe what just happened. And that we actually got this thing done. It's just so far.
You know, chasing Goggins, I feel like that's might be the title of this documentary. Like,
yeah, so the very first hard thing that I ever did was a 75-day challenge where I couldn't drink, had to work out 2 times a day, and a bunch of other things, one including reading a book. And so this is the first time I didn't drink, you know, for like a week or 2 at a time since I was 14 years old. And the very first book that I read was about this race. And then, you know, I did a few 100-milers. Sure enough, here we are. You know, we're all racing it together now. So, you know, he's been part of the inspiration, you know, to show what's possible. And now I get to be that for other people watching this as well. So I think that's pretty cool. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
That was amazing.
Love you, honey.
I know you left it all out on the course here, but what do you want to say, dude? You're at the finish line.
At the end of the day, we're just we're capable of so much more than we ever could imagine. But what we need to do is go out there and try. And so whatever that looks like for you, you know, I do these things because it exposes like a newer and a better version of me, because I know, and this isn't just true for me, it's true for everybody, that we grow during the hard times. And so I think, you know, the growth that happens in this type of environment is astronomical in every other aspect of my life: family, fitness, relationships, business, faith. And there's a lot of growth that happened. There was tears, there was, yeah, we had to solve a lot of problems, but I'm very thankful for it to be done. Well, thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. We really hope that it inspires you to take action in your life. We'd also like to give a special shout out and thank you to our title sponsor, Peak Longevity Institute. You can find their information in the first comment below. And we'd also like to give a big thank you to Derek Carlson from the Realty One Group, as well as John Huffman from John Huffman Speaks. Thank you to all you sponsors for making this video a reality and a possibility.